Okay, I'm recording. What's up, everybody? Coffee break here with another one. And football season is finally here. Look, I got a mug ready. See the logos right there. Shout out to my boy Chris for making this for me. Got some coffee in there. Hold on, let me take a sip. It's nice and hot too. Yeah, that's gonna wake you up. So, um, obviously the Niners are facing the Detroit Lions week 1, and all I can really think of when I hear that matchup is it's going to be a very long game for the Detroit Lions. They're outmatched. I mean, just about everywhere. You can argue the quarterback room in general, goes in favor of the Niners running game, um, defensive line. I guess the only key area I can see Detroit having maybe a chance is at corner corners, maybe, I don't know, but in all honesty, I feel like this is 2019 Bengal game, week 2. You remember Niners just manhandled the Cincinnati Bengals, and you know what that outcome was. So I anticipate it to be that same way. It is week 1, so Niners typically week 1, slowish, sluggish start. Now, same group. This group has been at it for now 4 years. So, at least the majority of the guys, 3 years, I would say. So, I expect them to come out firing, man. Like the same amount of group on offense. You're really, I mean, who's a new guy? Alex Mack, a veteran center. You have Jimmy Garoppolo now back there still, even though a lot of people said Trey Lance. The for sure thing, at least right now, week 1, is Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think that was the right call. Trent Williams there, Lakin. I mean, yeah, Alex Mack is the only guy that's new on offense. Um, I'm trying to think, like, you have Ayuk, you have Debo. There's really nothing else. I mean, outside of, the starters, once you get into the second depth chart for this team, like Trey Sermon, that's obviously a new guy. But yeah, I mean, it's just the same old offense, but this offense has shown you to be great at times. And I anticipate them to just come out and put up 35 plus points on Detroit. I really think so. I think they could put a solid 40 if they really put their minds to it, if they come out red hot. And if the running game is anywhere near what it was this last preseason game, and I know it's preseason, but at the end of the day, like, that's the identity of this team. If that's a indicator of how the 49ers are going to run the football, then they might rush for 300. Like, why even pass the ball? Get the jet sweeps, get the motion over, get the fly sweeps, whatever the case may be. Like, Ayuk and Debo doesn't really have to catch a ball. They could just run it, just give it to their hands, and they'll make plays. So, as much as we talk about the Niners dominating, um, that's just on offense. Like, defensively, same way. Defensively, like, even in preseason, the second guys coming in were playing very well. We have Diamador Lenore and and Talanoa Hufanga. Those 2 guys were kind of the 2 rookies that stood out on defense. And Ambry Thomas, as much as a lot of people weren't really satisfied with his play, I feel like he's still developing, especially since the guy didn't even play a snap last year. So just take that into consideration. It's a weird year. It was a weird year last year. This year, you also have to look at the rookies. excuse me, you have to look at the rookies that way because those who did not play, and let's talk about Penei Sewell because he was a guy who a lot of people were high on. He's been struggling. That's, Detroit Lions right tackle, the rookie, top 10 pick. So there's another guy who, you know, maybe needs another year of development, but that's kind of where we're at. I didn't expect Ambry Thomas to just be a plug-in starter, which is why Emmanuel Mosley and Jason Verrett are the starter, and which is why the 49ers, I haven't even talked about this, signed Josh Norman. And say what you want, a lot of people were like, Josh Norman, he's washed. Well, that's what a lot of people said about Richard Sherman. This is a similar deal. The only difference, and I think this is a big difference, is that you're not asking Norman to start. He's actually a pretty cool piece to just have as a depth move. And if, let's say, Emmanuel Mosley and Lenore go down or Verrett goes down, you have someone to at least plug and play. And I think that's important. Regardless, if he's doesn't have the same speed or the same man-to-man skill set, you have a defensive line that I think is the best in the NFL. I think it kind of is going to be similar to 2019 type of success. I really do think that. And we might just be just as deep as that year. And you don't need corners to cover for that long if you have that type of rotation coming in. You know, that's why Sherman was able to succeed. Emmanuel Mosley and a little bit of Verrett, they were able to succeed because of that. Now, when you don't have that, that's when you get in a little bit of a trouble. Like, Witherspoon was another guy who benefited from that, but you saw last year it was hit and miss with Witherspoon, just like it was hit and miss with a lot of our corners, you know. So it's one of those things like you just need them to cover for X amount of seconds, and that'll be enough. So we talked about that defensive line, solid. Josh Norman, I think that was a solid move. They needed to do something, and they did. So can't complain there. Now, kind of want to talk about something else. What do I want to talk about? Lost my train of thought. I guess just talk about how dominating this team is going to look. Okay, here we go. Power rankings. So a lot of people actually have the Niners pretty high, to my surprise. The sense I got from, the Twitter world, whatever you want to call it, is that a lot of people were still iffy about what the 49ers can do. But at least from the boys out there in Pro Football Focus, where did I get this actually? I think it was Chris Sims. Yeah. So he actually has the Niners ranked pretty high, number 1 seed. And that caught me by surprise just a little bit, just because I guess because a lot of the conversation has been quarterback. And when, a team's talking about quarterback, you're typically not that good. But like I've been saying for a long time, the Niners are in a very unique situation where they have a team that's really deep, and the only question mark seems to be quarterback. And Jimmy Garoppolo, we know he's capable of getting you there. But from what we've seen the past year and a half, is that he hasn't been able to put that, foot forward and at least improve in certain areas. And so, which is why there's a reason why we drafted Trey Lance and why we moved up to that position to do so. And so I was a little bit surprised that a lot of people are still giving the Niners a lot of credit. And I agree. I'm not saying I'm disagreeing, but I was just a little shocked that they're still getting that love. And I think it's deservingly so. I mean, we talk about injuries all the time, and Jesus Christ, Jalen Hurd, I know you were in the 53-man roster, but he can't even practice. So he's going to go possibly on IR. I wouldn't be surprised if Hurd plays until like week 7 after the bye. But just another guy, I mean, you guys saw my video. I didn't even have him in my 53. Like, I'm just like, we know what he is. And yet again, he still hasn't practiced. Hopefully, I mean, I'm recording this on Thursday, so if he can practice today, then that's huge, right? But if he can't, and Shanahan already said that it's possible Hurd goes on IR, short-term IR, meaning he could come back um, during the season, then it's a wait and see type of thing. But again, it's always been a wait and see with him. So that's very disappointing to hear with Hurd. Um, the guy that really has shine is Trent Sherfield, and I'm really looking forward to him. Like, he can be a Kendrick Bourne type, and that's what we're missing. And that what it seems like he's the guy that's ready to fill that role. And thank God for him, because if we had to rely on Hurd or Jawan Jennings or Mohamed Sanu, I mean, we'd be pretty screwed. So yeah, the Niners getting some love in the power rankings. Some have them winning the division, some have them slotted second behind the Seahawks. I think that's exciting. That should be exciting. It lets you know a lot of people are paying attention to the Niners, and we're not just being biased. Like, one thing about me is I love my Niners, obviously, but when they suck, I'm gonna call it as it is. And right now, I think that they're just as good in a position to win as they were in 2019. I thought they were good in 2018, but they showed me that they're just as good, if not better, than 2019 when they went to the Super Bowl. So last year, again, we had the COVID year situation. That was already weird, but then you had injuries, and that's the only thing that I think will slow this team down is injuries. So if key guys can stay healthy, if we don't have a bunch of guys coming down all at once, and we're still dealing with the COVID issue, so if that doesn't, get in our way, then I think the Niners are in good position to win this year. And it starts week 1 in Detroit. Again, I expect them to dominate and take full control of that game. Now, before we end this, I actually want to look at the schedule, because it's also important to look at who the other teams in our division are facing. So you have the Seahawks facing the Colts. Now, I don't keep tabs on other teams as much, but sorry, the coffee's coming back. Is the quarterback for the Colts, Carson Wentz, going to start? I don't know that. I think he is. How good is he going to be? That's a different question, but that one's going to be a good game. 10 a.m. start here in the West Coast. I might have to go Colts at home. Defense is solid still. I'm going to go with Colts. I think the Colts get it done and beat the Seahawks. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And then the Cardinals face the Tennessee Titans, and I have the Titans beating the Arizona Cardinals there. And we have the Bears facing the Rams, and I have the Rams winning that game against the Chicago Bears. Rams are at home, so I feel like the Rams could definitely win that. So a lot of exciting games too. We have Packers at Saints. I mean, that's not that exciting no more. So tonight, actually, the Cowboys and the Bucks face. Steelers versus the Bills on Sunday. That's going to be a good one. The Ravens against the Raiders on Monday night. That's gonna be fun. Raiders in Las Vegas. So let me know in the comment section below, guys. Predict the score, whatever the case may be. Again, I have the Niners just winning big in this one. Try to make another video before the Niners kick off. And as always, let me just set my coffee real quick. We'll see you on the next one. The coffee break. Let's go. Let's go. Beat Detroit.